Let's think about proportionality in the following context. A hotel is repainting all of its guest rooms, and the painters need 12 gallons of paint to repaint the first 5 rooms. We can actually assume that the number of gallons of paint needed is proportional to the number of rooms painted, so that if the painters doubled the number of rooms painted, they would also need to double the number of gallons of paint needed. So let's let R represent the varying number of rooms painted, and let P represent the varying number of gallons of paint used. So we're going to imagine the painters painting a varying number of rooms. So let's create a table of values to help us think about the relationship between R and P. We decided that if the painters paint 5 rooms, which is R equals 5, then they need 12 gallons of paint, which is P equals 12. And like I had said, if they doubled the number of rooms painted, so they painted 10 rooms, they would also need to double the number of gallons of paint used. And so P would be 24. On the other hand, if they only painted 1 room, then that would be 1/5. 1 room is 1/5 of 5 rooms, and therefore they would need 1/5 of 12 gallons of paint. So 1/5 of 12 gallons of paint is just 12/5 gallons of paint. And then from there, we could think about a whole lot of different values. So for example, if if they painted, let's say 2.5 rooms, they got tired. Actually, let's say 3.5 rooms. Let's say they paint 3.5 rooms and then they get tired. That's 3.5 times as many rooms as 1 room. So they'll need 3.5 times as many as 12 divided by 5 gallons of paint. Or the number of gallons of paint needed is going to be this 12/5 times the 3.5. And it turns out, in general, the number of gallons of paint needed is going to be 12/5 times as large as the number of rooms painted. So, let's say that one more time. The number of gallons of paint needed is 12/5 times as large as the number of rooms painted, which means that P, which is the number of gallons of paint needed, is 12/5 times as large as the number of rooms painted R. And therefore, P is equal to 12/5 times R, which is a formula that expresses P in terms of R.